Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Welcome to Slayer's Workshop. I was working on this old bike and just kind of throwing some old parts together, and then I realized that there isn't even really a proper how to build your Drifter Snowbikes kit video anywhere, really. I think 514 did a video a few years ago, but it was with the older style kit, and they've come a long ways now. These are the upgraded ones. They're a little bit different. And I get so many questions about the Drifter kit constantly, and it makes sense to just kind of do a how to build video and maybe answer some of these questions. But I'll get a close up here and show you the kit. So this is the Drifter Snowbikes kit upgraded version. It's only got 3 posts instead of 4 like the old one. It's got a bigger base plate. The way the posts mount are a little bit different. I don't know what else you might notice that's different. This is the rear bracket, and it attaches a little bit different than the older ones. And this is the front, and it comes with the bracket, the posts, the clamp, and all the hardware, right? The ski hardware, and rubber for the base plate. There's no bearings anymore. We changed that to these bushings, so that's a little bit different. You'll maybe notice that this hardware looks a little bit different. This is titanium stuff that I got, so just ignore that. Yeah, that's the basic kit. And I will do a little quick rundown of how to put it all together. It's pretty simple. Obviously, you want to take your bike apart. You want to take the wheels off. You want to take the chain off and the sprocket. And your brakes, I guess, if you got brakes. And everything just basically bolts on. There's one part about the front that is some people might get into a snag, but it's, you need that hole in the fork, and a lot of forks have them already. I know the S&M forks do. These were Shadow Captive forks, I believe. They did not have the hole, so I had to drill it, and drilling chromoly isn't always fun. But you can get her done. But it's easier having a fork with the hole in it already, obviously. I should mention that too, that the whole Drifter kit is full chromoly, so it is pretty beefy, strong, just like a high-end BMX, like this S&M Tallboy frame. But anyways, I'll get this thing together for you. Alright. First thing you're going to want to do is get this off. These captive forks are kind of a fucking pain in the ass because they bolt right through, but I do like that. So it's pretty solid. You don't get them slipping at all. So I'll just get those started. Yeah, that looks like a pretty bent bolt there. I'm gonna change that out. Yeah, let's do this one. Also, I do like running pegs. So I will put pegs on my right side at least. For now. I can get this thing in there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, with the new bushings, that works pretty nice. Alright, so once you got the bracket on there, take this clamp apart, drop the bolts on the ground. So this goes through this hole in the frame, or the fork, I mean, sorry. And then you want it rotated the right way, so it's the right angle. So, need my 17, Allen key. You want that tightened on there. Sure it's nice and straight. And now this post is adjustable. Controls the how level your ski sits when you're riding. So you can loosen this off, so you got a lot more play for like nose manuals and stuff. But then for the most part, when you're just riding, you want it somewhat tightened up. It's just like easier to carve and turn and stuff when you got a tighter post. I guess it's called the ski retention. So just tighten this up. And when you first get it, they're powder coated, so like I usually end up taking some of the paint off where the bracket or the clamp here clamps on, just so it doesn't slip as much. But it is somewhat designed to slip, just in case, like if you hit hard and and you bottom out on, like, if your ski flex is way up and it bottoms out your post, instead of like breaking the ski or breaking parts, the post will just slip. So then it avoids, hopefully avoids breaking skis and whatnot. But that's another story that I'll get into later. But anyways, here's the front bracket. I should have mentioned that before you actually adjust the front post and tighten it down, you should have the rear bracket and the skis on first, so it's sitting how it normally would. And then to adjust it, you have the clamp loose and tighten or loosen this bolt. You'd loosen it to have more play for like nose manuals, and then you would tighten it down so that it's stiffer for carving and stuff. So when it's stiffer, the gap is a lot smaller, and then when you loosen it off, it opens up, and then the post will stick up a little bit up top, and then you'd clamp the bolts down on the clamp once you have it set, the way you want it. I would recommend putting the ski on now after you do the bracket, just because it's pretty tippy just sitting there like that. So it's nice to just have one ski on while you're working on the other side, just so that it's not like falling over on you. So the skis are a long story. But anyways, where should I start here? The kit comes with the ski bolts, and the bracket is drilled out for a 4x4 bolt pattern, which is basically the generic bolt pattern for snowboards. And all of these ski boards, they call them, or snow blades, but the better higher end ones are called ski boards. So you want to cross tighten these just like your stem, I'm not going to worry about the ski being perfectly straight yet. I'll deal with that later. Okay, so there's the front. And I'll go to the back. That's the best angle for that. Also, I forgot to mention the kit also comes with a bungee for the crank arm. So that locks in one side to your frame. And that keeps it just from dipping into the snow, but it still has the flex so that you can, you still have movement so that it doesn't feel like totally rigid. So then it, you still have the same basic feel of your bike, but it just keeps the pedals from just digging into the snow, because it is a little bit lower than with your wheels. It's between 4 and 6 inches compared to a wheel is like 10, I guess, right? So, anyways, get to the back here. That's probably a pretty good angle. So here's the rear bracket. I'm gonna put this peg on again too. I want to forget that. Get this peg on here. There we go. So, the kit will come with this rubber piece. This just wraps around your seat post. That's what's different about these compared to the older ones, that they connected to your brake mounts, which wasn't the best way because they would break or bend. Where this is like way more solid. This doesn't move at all on you. I mean, it does. I guess it can shift on you and stuff, but it's not going to bend anything, at least. I switched this out because I found with a bigger piece of rubber compared to the ones that come with the kit, usually are really small, so then it slips off. So when you have a bigger piece on here, it kind of really digs in, and then it can't go up and down as easy, if that makes sense. So you kind of just get these one bolt on loose. And then slide the back end in. Of course, I do that every time. This post has to be up if it's attached already, so I'll get that up there. Yes. Again. Maybe it's easier if it's upside down. There we go. And now I'll tighten this up before it falls out. Ratchet is busted. But it works. And also, you really want to make sure it's in there fully. All the hardware that comes with the kit is stainless too, so that's pretty good. Usually lasts forever. It doesn't ever rust out or anything, since you're always out in the snow, so stuff can get a little rusty over time. Okay, so now that I got that in, just gotta get this bolt on. And this post is also adjustable if you remove this aluminum cap from the post, and then you can get an extension with a 14 or 15 mil, and you can adjust the tension on the post for the ski control as well. Or the, I'm not used to talking to the camera here. The ski retention, which the back end is kind of important because that sort of determines how far back you can lean back. So then you can kind of get your manual, where you manual like the sweet spot. Or like that's totally personal preference. Like I run my post a lot looser than some people do. And that's just because of the certain tricks that I want, like the full movement of the ski, where a lot of people don't like it that way, I guess, but they're also probably not on a BMX snow bike either. There's a lot of mountain bikes, ski bikes out there and stuff, but I won't get into that right now. So then you get the other ski on. This one can go either way. I'm putting it backwards this time, so I know a lot of people will say it's backwards, but it depends what you're doing. I like it this way for a lot of stuff, so. Maybe I'll just get a good shot of the whole bike now. I'll get this last ski on and then I'll kind of go over the whole bike and maybe do a bit of a bike check. So get these tightened on. I really like these bolts on the Drifter kit too. Like a lot of other bikes come with Allen bolts, which are fine, I guess, but if you're like out in the snow and you need to tighten your ski or change your skis or whatever, the bolts are so much nicer. You can actually get a wrench on it. Otherwise, the Allen bolts just ice up. I think that this one bolt on the ski is actually stripped out, which really sucks. Ignore that. Alright, so there it is. Didn't take too much to get it on. Just bolts on, you know? Yeah, so these are 90-inch skis. All the skis I have are basically all discontinued now. These are Nism skis that you can't get anymore. But you can run up to 90 centimeter skis with the Snow BMX kit. Drifter Snowbikes kit. Snow BMX is easier to say. I do like that. Unfortunately, the Drifter kit doesn't come with skis anymore. They used to make some years ago, but they weren't very strong and they'd break pretty easy. I've ridden pretty much every ski available out there and I've broken every one pretty much too, so it can be a little discouraging, but they do make skis that are stronger. Just not many out there and the discontinued, so my idea was actually, I got some nice hardwood here cut, some birch and some maple and some larch. So that's a little bit more high-end wood than what they put in these ski boards. And after riding so many different sets, I think I could make some snow BMX specific ones that are a little bit stronger. There's these ones actually too that were pretty sweet that Ben found for me at a thrift shop for $50 each. What are the odds of that? As you can see, they got that 4x4 mount pattern, but you can actually shift where the ski goes. So that, I really like that design. That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. It's what I was thinking of doing when I try making a few sets. And hopefully I can start making a few this winter and maybe have some available for everybody that's looking for skis that can't find any. Maybe we can even have them in part of the kit. But we'll see. I gotta make some first. Yeah, so anyways, there's the S&M Tallboy frame. I got the Enduro stem, I believe. These are BSD high as hell bars. Custom Matt Behringer bar ends. What are kind of animal Stephen Hamilton pedals? Those are good. Profile cranks. You know, that's another thing is cranks. I mean, any cranks work, but I kind of like mine really short because you don't need to pedal, obviously. The shorter, the better. Like these are 145, so you wouldn't want to ride wheels on 145s probably, but they're really nice on the snow bike. And then the bone death seat, obviously. Everybody wants one. But as you can see, there's, oh, and the forks, I guess. There's Shadow Captive forks. I mentioned that already. I should maybe go over the reasons why I got some of these parts on here, but like these bars are pretty tall. They're 10.5s. So like when you're riding super steep terrain, it's really nice to have that extra tall bar, so then you're not just pointing straight down the hill. You're kind of, you know, you can actually see where you're going a little bit and not cranking your neck right back to try and see. Because I mean, dirt jumps and stuff can be steep too, and they, you know how the frame is a little bit more raked out in a way, but it's nice having that really, really tall bar. And then I always use lock-on grips. You can try and glue grips on, and maybe if you're in a dry enough place, it might work, but it's so wet out here that you need lock-ons, otherwise you just get that throttle grip, you know. Pegs too, I guess. Nice to have them a little bit longer than usual, I guess. I think these are 4.5s. I mean, you can get up to like 5.5, I think now, or it's just kind of a little bit long. You want them a little longer because the skis do stick out a bit. So when you're grinding, it's harder to get right on the dropout. You're sometimes grinding more on the edge. So, usually I was running 4-inch. So that extra half an inch makes a big difference. But I also don't like to go too long either, because then when you're carving and stuff, you're going to dip your peg in the snow. So part of the reason why we were making taller kits too, like the original kits were only 4-inch, which were fine, but you get into steeper or deeper snow too, and then your pegs and pedals start dragging. So we made the tall boy is like the 2 inches taller. So you can see there's not really that many components compared to a regular BMX. Once you take the wheels and chain and brakes, that really eliminates a lot of parts. So these bikes are pretty simple setup, you know. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this bike build video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Yeah, let me know if I should do more of these videos. I would like to do a build up of this other bike here, just with my old parts. And yeah, the idea is kind of, this is my street machine, and then this one I want to sort of set up more just for powder riding. As you can see, it works really nice. Perfect flex. Yeah, maybe I should get a clip, eh? In the driveway, you think I could get one? Alright, it's not much snow on the ground yet. See if I can land something here. Oh, there it is. Drifter Snowbikes kit.